Hey guys, so I just reached rank 1 legend for the Tempest class in the Trial of Hordes on my server, and I did it with a 92% win rate, which is probably one of the highest win rates I've had going into the legend rank. So I actually managed to do this all in the same day, and I actually climbed all the way up from 0 to rank 1 just using this build. I didn't make any changes. The build that I actually did this with isn't my build, it's actually a build from another content creator who's actually a very good content creator that you guys might not have heard of. So this is Trobane Gaming's build, and I'll have a link to his build explanation and channel in the descriptions. So if you guys have a chance and want to watch some quality content, do subscribe to his channel. He is covering a lot of different things related to the Tempest class, not just build guides, but also very informative videos. And he has also covered the Crusader class in the past. So if you're a fan of one of those two classes, then do check out his channel. So for the skills that I'm using in this build, I'm using Rolling Surf, I'm using Breaker, Cascade, and Storm Fury, and for the primary attack it doesn't really matter what we use because we're using Rolling Surf, but I decided to use a Wind Edge here. For the essence, I'm not going to go too in depth into this because Trobane Gaming has already done a very good job explaining this build, but I'll just do a quick overview. So we're using the Merchant Scale. This is obviously to keep the 100% uptime of the Rolling Surf. We're using the Sumptuous Well, so this is basically the Cascade Essence that we've chosen. I believe that there's also another Cascade Essence, which I'll have up on the screen, that works very similar to this one and will also give similar results, but this gives a nice burst AoE effect to you and your Zephyrs, so it gives bursts of water, which will basically clear the whole screen. For the Shoulders and Pants Essence, we're using the Breaker, 19% increased damage, as well as the Breaker Shield Pants. So rather than going for more damage, we went for the shield option, and this is to basically ensure that we don't take as much damage and don't take as many hits. And this is crucial because a lot of times if you're playing against experienced players who are playing the Tempest, both of you guys will reach 364 kills, but you just want to edge out the win on them by taking less damage, and this Pants definitely helps you to do that more consistently. For the main hand essence, we're using Fiendfell for the first essence, but this is kind of a dead slot. You can use what you like. So because we're using Rolling Surf in this build, you don't actually need this because the primary attack is based off Rolling Surf, but I'm just using this because there's no other good options, and in case I do get knocked off or something and I have to use Wind Edge or my Rolling Surf drops, which it doesn't really happen, maybe this will do a bit more damage, and there weren't any other really good options like I said. So for the second main hand essence, we're using the Flooded Stream. This is obviously to be able to move really fast while having a decent damage with the Rolling Surf. For the offhands, we're using Sip of Breath. This is going to allow you to have 28.5 increased attack speed, which is really good. So you want to be picking up all of these orbs while you're playing the match, and you'll notice me doing just that. And then for the second offhand, we're using the Marodi Spine, and this gives you increased Zephyr damage, which is just an all-round really good essence to have in the build. Moving on to the sets, we're using 4-piece Vithus and 4-piece Gloom. This is becoming a common theme with Tempest builds on my channel, and I think that this combination of sets, as long as you're using a dash skill on your setup, is probably the best combination of sets for the Tempest class. So other than that, let's quickly talk about the awakening. So you obviously want to awaken the chest because this gives you Rolling Surf cooldown. Other than that, I awakened this main hand because this gives you 10% Rolling Surf damage, and Rolling Surf acts as your primary attack in this case, so this is one of the best options to do. Besides that, you could go for whatever you like. Most of these will give you 10% increased damage for their relevant slots. I'm not going to spend too long talking about the legendary gems. You can see the ones I'm using here, but I'll just talk about the main ones. You want to be using Bloodsoaked Jade. This is an incredibly good gem, and you should never replace it. And other than that, you want to be using Gloom Cask, and also the Roiling Consequence helps a lot. Another gem which is really good in this mode is Void Spark because of the AoE lightning effect, so if you have that gem, do include it in your setup. Now let's talk about the Paragon setup that we're using. So I'm just using my standard damage setup on the Slinger tree, which is the 3 top nodes here, which will give you the Weaver bonuses, and also the 2 nodes here, which will give you the Ranger bonuses. So I did also think about using the Lucky node, which gives you 50% increased globe drop rate from monsters, but I'm not 100% sure if this actually works in the Trial of Hordes mode. If any of you have tested this and you know if it works, then it would probably be better to go for this node and maybe some of these Vanquisher nodes here, because it is incredibly important to pick up some of those Frenzy globes and also the Conduit globes in the late game of this mode, and it does help you kind of have the edge over your opponent. It is one of the most important things to do. So I want to give some general tips for this mode before I end the video. So as you can see here, the timer is at 50 seconds. And the whole match I've kind of been dodging the Frenzy Globes and the Lightning Globes until it reaches 45 seconds, and that's when I'm going to pick them up. And I actually kind of made a mistake here because I picked up 2 in a row. What you kind of want to do is you want to pick one up and then you want to stagger picking up the other one. I kind of like to count about 15 seconds in my head before picking up the next one. And the same thing with the lightning globes. As soon as they run out, you kind of want to pick up the next one. You don't want to be picking up both at the same time. But where I like to wait until is around the 45-second mark, and that's where I'll start picking them up. But that number might change depending on how much damage you're outputting. If you can output more damage than me, then you can kind of wait till later to pick them up. If you really need them to survive, then you can pick them up a bit earlier. I would suggest just to test and see how long you can kind of wait and just stretch your limits there. But yeah, as you can see here, I managed to win the match, and just by taking less damage, and I believe this was down to my pants that I was using, which gave me the shield, which really helped me secure the win here. So with that said, guys, I want to wish you all good luck in your matches in this mode. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.